Okay, let's start with the remaining portion of the income from other sources. Chalo. Acha, we have observed that the other sources is quite a bit of interesting in terms of the chargeability under the tax. Okay, yesterday we have learned the how to charge the share premium. Now, how to charge any securities which is issued. Okay, more than the face value as well as more than the fair market value. And we have also understand that key man insurance policy taxability as well as a life insurance policy taxability where 80C भी कवर हो गया हम लोग का बहुत सारा जगह जहाँ पे 1/4/2012 up to 1/4/2013 and on or after 1/4/2023. That's three different scenarios how to charge the any amount received plus the bonus from the LIP life insurance policy that we have also been observed. Now we are going to study it with respect to the income chargeable under the head income from other sources only if it not chargeable under the PGEP. So we are going to witness some sort of examples, okay, some sort of incomes which is not charged under the PGEP but become charged under the head income from other sources. But provided if those incomes are not charged under the PGEP, then only they are also they are only charged under the income from other. So I'm repeating again, if these are not charged under the PGEP, then only it will be charged under the head income from other sources. That is what the promise, that is what the important. Okay, promise means that is what the law. Okay, that is why I am saying. So any sum received by an employer assessee from his employee as contribution to any provident fund, superannuation fund or any other fund for the welfare of the employee. So any sum received by an employer assessee from his employees as contribution to any provident fund, superannuation fund or any other fund for the welfare of the employee, or income from letting out on hire machinery, plant or furniture. Well, letting out a building is inseparable from the letting out of machinery, plant or furniture. The income from such letting interest on securities. So guys, I'm dictating everything. Okay, starting with the 4. Interest on securities. Definitely, interest on securities nothing but the any interest you are going to receive from the bonds and the debenture. It should be taxable under the head income from other sources. Okay, interest on securities. I'm repeating again. Interest on securities, it stands for securities in the sense of debenture, government bond, everything. So it will be chargeable under the head income from other sources. Okay, provided this is not chargeable in any other heads. Remember this. Okay, it is not chargeable in any other heads. And now next, well, letting out of building is inseparable from the letting out of machinery. What is written here? Inseparable. It means what? It means agar if building को if आप सोच लो, if in the building there is a machinery, plant, furniture and it is not separated from the building, it means when you are going to let out your building, those are the ancillaries to the building. It means it is added with the building. It means you cannot set out machinery, plant, furniture separately and you just letting out the building. So when anyone want to take the building on a rent, then machinery, plant, furniture is also to be rentable with respect to the building itself. जैसे मैं आपको example देता हूँ, when you use any commercial property, there are some desk, any other facilities is also going to be available on this particular building. So the furniture available inside the flat or the building should not be separable from the building for which it will be rentable. Okay, so that is why when building is rentable, if it is inseparable from the accessories it is in it, then it will be come under the income from other source. So आप अगर भूमि आप if you are going to rent your building and if the building consists of other parts like furniture, plant, machine, etc., then also it will be taxable under the same head and it comes under section 56(2), section 56(2) subsection 2, section 56(2) subsection 2. Clear? That is not very easy. Now, income from letting out on hire machinery, plant or furniture. So this is the separate part. Okay, sorry, this is 56(2) subsection 3. You can write, huh, Bhumi? If you have the book, you can write 56(2) and in bracket open. First you will go 56 bracket open subsection 2 bracket close. Again bracket open Roman 3 under this head 3. Okay, Roman 3 under this head 3. And then bracket close. Okay, and if you earn any income by letting out on hire machinery, plant or furniture, then it will come under 56 to 2. It is the 56 to subsection 2. Okay, and any sum received by an employer assessee from his employee as contribution to any provident fund, superannuation fund, or any other fund for the welfare of the employee. So if any sum received by the employer assessee from his employee as contribution to any provident fund, superannuation fund, or any other fund or the welfare of the employee, then it will be taxable under the other sources. Very simple. Now there are certain examples which is also being taxable, but certain limit of exemption is given under section 1015. So अभी हम लोग जो पढ़ेंगे वो है interest on securities का कुछ example where you are going to get certain benefit with respect to the interest on securities. So चलिए guys, क्या लिखा है यहाँ पे देख लेते हैं एक बार. Interest on securities where certain exemption under section 1015 is available. Income by way of interest, premium on redemption or other payment, okay, on notified securities, bond, annuity certificates, and other saving certificates exempt subject to such condition and limits as may be specified in the notification. So income by way of interest, premium on redemption or other payment on notified securities, bond, annuity certificates, or other saving certificates is exempt subject to such condition and limits as may be specified in the notification. It may be noted that interest on post office savings bank account, which was so far fully exempt, would henceforth be exempt from tax for any assessment year only to the extent of 3,500 in case of an individual account, 7,000 in case of a joint account. So आप लोगों में बोलता हूँ, see Bhumi, suppose you know about the post office, correct? You know about post office, Bhumi? Yeah. So suppose you went to post office, with your father. Okay, now you want to open an account and want to start a fixed recurring deposit in the post office itself. So when you start open an account and start doing fixed deposit or FD, whatever it may be, now you have deposited a good amount of money in your post office savings bank account. Okay, जैसे बैंक में savings account open होते हैं, like the same way in post office you can also open savings bank account. So in the post office savings account, you deposited, let's say 6 lakh rupees, okay? And if the interest from the savings bank deposit is that savings bank has been opened in your name only, okay? Like Bhumi, on your name only. If it is on your name only and you are earning an interest up to 3,500, then it will be not chargeable under the head, under the tax. It is taxable under the other sources. But there is an exemption of 3,500 in case of individual account, and the exemption available under section 1015. Okay, if it is taxable under the head income from other sources, although there is an exemption available up to 3,500 with respect to the savings bank interest from post office under section 1015, आपको मिल जाएगा. Now Bhumi, you just do one thing. You are going to add your father as a second holder of the account. You just add your father as a second holder account. Then if you are adding your father as a second holder account, then whatever the interest you are going to earn from post office savings bank up to 7,000 rupees is exempted under section 1015 for a joint account, because आप and आपका father jointly hold कर रहे हो account को, तो इसलिए exemption कितना है 7,000. इसलिए exemption कितना है 7,000 if you hold jointly. Okay, if you hold jointly, then it will be exempted. So that is what the fundamental, clear hai? That is what the fundamental here. So interest on gold deposit bond issued under the gold deposit scheme 1999 or deposit certificate issued under the gold monetization scheme 2015 notified by the central government. So interest on gold deposit bond issued under the gold deposit scheme 1999 or deposit certificate issued under the gold monetization scheme 2015 notified by the central government. That is what the important. Okay, it is also being exempted. So if you have received anything with respect to the gold deposit bond with issued on 1999 or any deposit certificate with respect to the gold monetization scheme 2015, then exempted. Okay, interest on bond from local authority. If you receive any interest on bond from local authority or any state pool finance entity, it means you can write here State Industrial Development Bank of India, SIDBI. You can write an example, Bhumi. Here in this point, you can take an example of SIDBI, SIDBI, Small Industrial Development Bank of India, SIDBI, okay, and specified by the central government by notification in the official gazette. So interest on bond issued by a local authority or a state pool finance entity and specified by the central government by notification in the official gazette. State pool finance entity means the entity is set up in accordance with the guidelines for the pooled finance development scheme notified by the CG in the Ministry of Urban Development. It means what? सर अगर कोई ऐसा एंटिटी है जो सेटअप किया गया है एज पर द पूल्ड फाइनेंस डेवलपमेंट स्कीम, इट मींस finance will be given based on the certain pool. It means like 1 crore, 2 crore, like a pool means a total amount which was notified by the CG under the Ministry of the Urban Development. Okay, then this fund with respect to this pool finance fund is known as state pool finance entity. Okay, those entities which are engaged in this pool finance development scheme are covered under state pool finance entity. You can take an example of SIDBI, Small Industrial Development Bank of India. That is done, sir. Now next, key man insurance policy. Okay, any sum received under a key man insurance policy, including the sum allocated by way of bonus on such policy is chargeable under the head income from other sources. If such income is not chargeable under the PGEP or under the head salaries, if such sum received by the any person other than the employer who took the policy and the employee is not policy was taken. So अब बहुत easy है, देखिए क्या लिखा है यहाँ पे. Any sum received under the key man insurance policy, including the sum allocated by way of bonus on such policy, is chargeable under the head income from other sources. Okay, if such income is not chargeable under the head profit and gains of business and profession or under the head salaries, that is if sums is received by the any person other than employer. So guys, remember, okay, if the sum is received under any person other than employer who took the policy and the employee in whose name the policy was taken. Okay, so it means other than employer, if anyone is receiving the money from the key under the key man insurance, then it will be taxable. Clear है sir, एकदम. अच्छा, residual income, what is this? It's very easy, interesting. See, daily allowances given to the member of the parliament, or the state legislature or any committee, it's exempted. Okay, under section 1017. Any constituency allowances given to the MPs, means member of parliaments, okay, is also exempted. Any constituency allowances given to the MLAs, Ministry of Local Assemblies, it's also exempted. Okay, it's also exempted. So guys, it's very easy, sir. Any income chargeable under the head under to the tax under the heads. Okay, so आपके पास जो भी income है ना भूमि, other than whatever we have learned, and also we learn in the from last since 3 and 4 months. Okay, whatever we learn except all those incomes, whatever the income left will be taxable under the head income from other sources. But there are certain example, there are certain you can say incomes of the member of parliaments which are exempted under section 1017. So what are the income exempted with respect to the member of parliament and the state legislature? We are exempted under section 1017. Daily allowances received by way of member of parliament or of any state legislature or any committee, or constituency allowances given to the MPs and MLAs are exempted. Okay, there are the other exemption also in respect to certain income are as follows. So there are certain exemption also there. Let's discuss this. Okay, interest on money standing to the credit of individual in the NRE account. Okay, in the NRE account, non-resident external account. Okay, so as per section 1014(2), in case of an individual, any income by way of interest on money standing on the credit of non-resident account in any bank of India in accordance with Foreign Exchange Management Act and the rules made thereunder would be exempt, provided such individual is a person a resident outside India as defined in FEMA 1999, or is a person who has been permitted by the Reserve Bank of India in maintenance account. So if you are earning any income from the non-resident account, that means non-resident external account, according Foreign Exchange Management Act, then it is exempted. बहुत easy है, ठीक है. Suppose you are earning from a bank account of non-resident external account in India and also in accordance with the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, then it will be exempted provided such individual is a person resident outside India. सर आपको ये चीज याद रखना है गाइस. हाँ, रेसिडेंट पर्सन नॉन रेसिडेंट है. पर्सन जो रिसीव कर रहा है ना इनकम एनआरई अकाउंट से, द पर्सन हु इज अर्निंग इंटरेस्ट फ्रॉम द एनआरई अकाउंट is a non-resident as defined under FEMA 1999, or as a person who has been permitted by the RBI to maintain such account, and RBI ने उनको बोला है कि you can maintain an account, it is being order of the RBI. Okay, now in this context it may be noted that the joint holder of the NRE account do not constitute an AOP by merely having these accounts in joint names. The benefit of exemption under section 1042, sorry 1042, yeah 1042, हाँ 1042 will be available. 1 minute, हाँ. Acha, suppose the NRE account has been, the NRE account has been taken up, the NRE account has been taken up with respect to the joint holder. ये तो हो ही सकता है ना, जॉइंट अकाउंट होल्डर ने एनआरई अकाउंट टेकअप किया, ठीक है, जॉइंट होल्डर ने एनआरई अकाउंट टेकअप किया, तो उस केस में क्या होगा, इफ द जॉइंट होल्डर टेकन अप द एनआरई अकाउंट देन ऑल्सो एग्जेम्पशन अवेलेबल गाइस. ओके भूमि, सो सपोज आपने ऊपर में जो पढ़ा ना अभी ये सेक्शन 1015 में, जहां पे आपका पोस्ट ऑफिस में यू कैन होल्ड इन ए सिंगल अकाउंट और यू कैन होल्ड इन ए जॉइंट अकाउंट, when both the cases interest up to 3500 in case of individual and up to 7000 in case of joint account is exempted under section 1015 in case of the interest from post office savings bank account, the same also in NRE account. If the NRE account is held by the joint holder, then it is not form a AOP, okay, association of person. However, the exemption is also available to both the joint holder subject to fulfillment of the condition contained in that section by each of the individual joint holder account. Okay, so this is very easy. Now we are going to go through it, compensation received on account of the disaster. So Bhumi, please go through it once, by your own. ये आप एक बार go through कीजिए इसको, अच्छा है, ये interesting है. Now please go through it once. Okay, take your time and go through it once. Compensation received on account of disaster, section 1010 BC. Wherever you found this section, always remember, whenever there is in section 10, always remember these are the exempted section. Section 10 in the Income Tax Act cover all the income which are exempted from the tax. So section 1010 BC is an exempted income. So now you just I am requesting you to go through point 2. Okay, point 2 एक बार go through कीजिए जल्दी से. So let's discuss this. Compensation received on account of disaster. क्या बोल रहा है इसका सेक्शन 10(10)(BC) में? आप मुझे थोड़ा बता पाओगे what this said, what this provision says? बोलो. No. You said any money received from whom? The money should be received from central government. So, any compensation if you receive or granted by the central government, it means you are the assessee and you receiving the money from the central government. Okay, let it be very clear. So, any compensation received from central government or granted by the central government or the state government or the local authority, okay, is exempted under section 10(10)(BC). So this clause exempt any amount received or receivable as compensation by an individual or his legal heir on account of any disaster. By an individual or his legal heir on account of any disaster, okay. And such compensation should be granted by the central government or a state government or a local authority. However, exemption would not be available in respect of compensation for alleviating any damage or loss which has already been allowed as deduction under this act. Disaster means a catastrophe, mishap, calamity, or grave occurrence in any area arising from natural or man-made causes or by accident or negligence. It should have the effect of causing. So Bhumi, if you receive any amount from the होता है ना, जैसे आप तो देखे हो floods होते हैं, you can see hurricanes are there, okay. These are all the natural disaster. So with respect to this natural disaster, if someone receive any money from the central government or local government or any state government, then it is exempted under section 10(10)(BC). Let it be very clear. You are the assessee, you receiving the money from the central government, okay. Provided disaster should be like this. Disaster is not like देखो क्या लिखा है यहाँ पे. Disaster means a catastrophe. Catastrophe means what? Catastrophe means is like a, just write down the meaning. Write down the meaning of catastrophe first. Catastrophe is something that you can write also, please. Catastrophe is an event that causes, okay, that causes damages. It means flood, earthquake, etc. Okay. So any catastrophe, mishap, calamity. Calamity means weather or any grave occurrence in any area arising from natural or man-made causes or by accident or negligence. It should have the effect of causing. So what we have learned here. Now, disaster means a catastrophe, mishap, calamity, or grave occurrence in any area arising from natural or man-made causes or by accident or negligence. It should have the effect of causing substantial loss of life or human suffering. It means there is a substantial loss of life or human suffering or damage to and destruction of property or damage to or degradation of environment. It should be of such nature or magnitude as to beyond the coping capacity of the community of the affected area. So we need to remember, Bhumi, if the disaster comes like this, okay, this form particularly, and it has a huge destruction, then like it is called like Chennai flood, you know that, Kerala flood, you know that, these are the disaster for which the compensation given by the central government to those person who are highly affected due to these disasters will be available with respect to the exemption section 10(10)(BC). Clear? So this is what the compensation received on account of disaster section 10(10)(BC). Now, illustration 5. Compensation on account of disaster received from a local authority by an individual or his legal heir is taxable. Examine the correctness of the statement with reference to the provision of the Income Tax Act 1961. It says any compensation on account of disaster received from a local authority by an individual or his legal heir is taxable. Examine the statement is not correct. As per section 10(10)(D), any amount received or receivable as compensation by an individual or his legal heir on account of any disaster from the CG SG or local authority exempt from tax. However, the exemption is not available to the extent such individual legal has already been allowed a deduction under this act on account of such loss or damage caused by such disaster. If any exemption is already available, then the exemption is not available. Okay, suppose you have already getting certain exemption with respect to the amount received for this disaster, and only the amount which is not which you are not getting the exemption is only available under this section. So it's very easy, let it very simple. Okay, any amount received for the disaster is exempted under this section. Okay, it's very easy, clear एकदम. चलो चलिए भूमि 10-16 में चलते हैं. एजुकेशनल स्कॉलरशिप, आपको कभी स्कॉलरशिप मिला है स्कूल से? हैव यू रिसीव एनी स्कॉलरशिप फ्रॉम द स्कूल? या ग्रेट. सो आपको जो स्कॉलरशिप मिला था वो एग्जेम्प्टेड था. एंड देखो आपको उस टाइम पे पता नहीं था ना, अभी आपको मैं बता रहा हूँ आपका स्कॉलरशिप जो था वो 10-16 में एग्जेम्प्टेड था. ओके, सेक्शन 10-16 में वो एग्जेम्प्टेड. ओके, सो एनी एजुकेशनल स्कॉलरशिप रिसीव अंडर सेक्शन 10-16 इज एग्जेम्प्टेड. ओके, क्लियर. अंडर सेक्शन 10-16 में वो एग्जेम्प्टेड है. क्लियर है सर एकदम. नाउ अवार्ड फॉर लिटरेसी, साइंटिफिक लिटरेरी सॉरी साइंटिफिक आर्टिस्टिक वर्क्स and other awards by the government section 1017A. So Bhumi, when you are going to receive any award, okay, instituted in the public interest by the central or state government or by any body approved by the CG and are rewarded by the CGSG for such purpose as may be approved by the CG in public interest will enjoy exemption on this clause. See, Arjuna award, okay, Arjuna award are exempted because this award is a prestigious award which is given for any contribution towards the nation. Okay, Arjuna award is like Mohammad Sami, the cricketer, receiving the Arjuna award for which he has a high level of contribution in the like क्या बोलते हैं उसको, ODI. Okay, in the ODI World Cup, one day World Cup, he has high level of contribution in taking the wickets. He has a main destructor in in the Indian team who has destroyed all the batsmen in this world while playing the क्या बोलते हैं ODI World Cup. ठीक है, so in this case Arjuna award is exempted, that's why it is comes under section 1017. Okay, now please go through once the section 1010A. Okay, payment in commutation of pension received from set up by LIC. अच्छा, इस very easy में बोल देता हूँ, ये सैलरी में हम लोग पढ़े थे. any commuted pension, okay, any commuted pension received by an individual from a fund set up by LIC of India approved by the controller of insurance or IRDA will be exempted. So any pension received by you from LIC approved fund will be exempted under this particular section 1010A. Okay, remember this, under this particular section 1010A. It's very easy, sir. Clear hai? Now please go through this circular ones. Circular number 18 dated 2/11/15 with respect to the interest from non-SLR securities. SLR stands for statutory liquidity ratio. SLR stands for statutory liquidity ratio. Please go through it once. Okay, please. ये सर्कुलर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. देखिए, these circulars are giving you the certain idea regarding the taxation provision with respect to the non-SLR security. Okay, the issue addressed by this circular is whether in the case of banks expenses relatable to investment in non-SLR securities need to be disallowed under section 57(1) by considering interest on non-SLR securities as income from other sources. क्या लिखा है देखिए, the issue addressed by the circular is whether in the case of banks expenses relatable to investment in non-SLR securities need to be disallowed under section 57(1). need to be disallowed. Okay, so any interest on non-SLR securities is disallowed. Clear? Any interest is non-SLR securities disallowed. So they are saying whether it will be chargeable under the IFOS or it will be chargeable under the PGP. So वही question है भूमि. Okay, the question under circular number 18 is that whether it will be chargeable under the head PGP or whether it will be chargeable under the head other sources. यही question है ना. So 57(1) में लिखा है it will be not taxable under, sorry, it will be not exempted. Okay, it will be not exempted, it will be not allowed under this particular section. So section 56(1) subsection 1 small d provides that income by way of interest on securities shall be chargeable to income tax under the income from the, ये हम लोग ऑलरेडी पढ़ चुके हैं, करेक्ट, इन द above case, okay, that interest on bond, debenture, etc. taxable under this particular head. If the income is not chargeable to income tax under the PGP, okay, so the CVD clarified that the investment made by a banking concern are part of the business of banking. Therefore, the income arising from such investment is attributable to business of banking falling under the PGP. So मैं आपको clear cut बता दे रहा हूँ भूमि. See, SLR are the statutory liquidity reserves, okay. SLR ratio नहीं ये गलत है, मैंने गलत बोला था, sorry for that actually. SLR is a statutory liquidity reserves. Okay, so banks maintain SLR with banks maintain SLR actually, okay. Banks maintain SLR as per the RBI guidelines. So when banks is invested its income in any non-SLR securities, then the income received by the bank is nothing but the income from PGBP, not other source, because the amount invested in non-SLR securities is the amount that the bank is utilizing for the business purpose, and this is the income of the bank actually, okay. So that's why it is taxable under the head PGBP. Make it very clear. आप समझ के रखियो भूमि, हाँ, you need to be very clear. If anything related directly to your business, then please charge it PGP. Don't wait for the same, okay. If anything related to your business, then please charge it to the PGP. Don't wait for anything else. That is why income from such income will be chargeable under the head PGP, not under the head income from others, because it's a pure banking income, okay. Sir, clear ekdam. Now, applicable rate of tax in respect of casual income other than winning from any online game, section 115 BB. So Bhumi, that we have already discussed that winning from lotteries is taxable under the 30 plus surcharge, okay. And also I have already given you the notes. Perfect, मैंने नोट ऑलरेडी दे दिया था. नाउ वी आर अगेन गोइंग थ्रू दिस, ओके. मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी कल नोट दे दिया था रिगार्डिंग द टैक्सेबिलिटी ऑफ द income from the casual earning from the casual income, okay. So now we are going to learn a separate section called 115 BB, which is the income from a casual income actually other than winning from any online game. So online game छोड़ के जो भी income है वो सारे casual income section 115 BB में taxable होंगे. क्या है देखिए भूमि, this section provides that income by way of winning from lotteries, crossword puzzle, races including horse races or card games and other games of any sort or from gambling or betting except online games, okay. जैसे ड्रीम 11 होता है ना, आप देखें ना, ड्रीम 11 हो गया, माई 11 सर्कल हो गया, ये सब गेम छोड़ के रमी कार्ड गेम्स जो होता है would be taxed at a flat rate of 30% plus surcharge. If applicable, health and education says at that rate 4%. However, income by way of winning from any online game would not be taxed under this section. So we have to remember that any income other than online game income will be taxable under these particular heads. No expenditure or allowances can be allowed from such income. Deduction under chapter 6A is not allowable from such income. I am repeating again. Deduction under chapter 6A is not allowable from such income. Adjustment of unexhausted basic exemption limit is also not permitted against such income. I am repeating. Adjustment of unexhausted basic exemption limit is also not permitted against such income. Clear है? So कोई भी लिमिट यहाँ पे इम्प्लाई मतलब अप्लाई नहीं होगा. I am repeating again. No other income will be applied, no other limit will be applied in this with respect to the basic exemption limit, and chapter 6 is not allowed at all. No expenditure allowance can be allowed from such income. I am repeating again. No expenditure or allowances can be allowed from such income. Is clear, sir? Okay. Applicable rate of tax in respect of winning from online games, section 115 BJ. So guys, section 115 BB, section 115 BB is tells about the section tells about the income with respect to all the casual income other than online game, and 115 BJ is tells about the income which is online games income. क्या है देखिए, रेट सेम होगा. हाँ भूमि, there is no such differences at all with respect to the rate, okay. 30 plus surcharge plus any plus the education says at the rate 4%. That is very easy. Now meaning of online game: a game that is offered on the internet and is accessible by a user through a computer resource including any telecommunication device. No expenditure allowances can be allowed from such income. Deduction under chapter 6A is not allowable from such income. Adjustment of unexhausted basic exemption limit is also not permitted against such income. So Bhumi, if you see the above case and this case, I think so is very same. आप देखो इसको एक बार गो थ्रू कर लीजिए भूमि, सेक्शन 115 BB को और 115 BB जे को, सेम प्रोविजन, ओनली एक ही चीज है. वो ऑनलाइन गेम के लिए है, और यहाँ पे ऑनलाइन गेम के लिए ये नहीं है। 115 डबल बी नॉट फॉर ऑनलाइन गेम, इट इज एन ऑनलाइन गेम, ठीक है। इट्स इजी भूमि। कोई डाउट है भूमि, बताइए, आपको कोई डाउट है अभी तक, या क्लियर है पूरा? या ग्रेट, गुड। चलो अगर आगे बढ़ते, अभी सेक्शन 57, दिस इज वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शन फॉर अस, ओके। सेक्शन 57, so section 57 is very basic section related to certain expenses which will be allowable, okay, with respect to certain deduction will be allowable. Now let's start this particular section, section 57, okay, and please take your pencil in hand, mark wherever I am going to tell you to mark, okay. It's a very important section for your examination point of view. Section 57 देखिए क्या लिखा है। The income chargeable under the head income from other sources shall be computed after making the following deduction. I am repeating again. The income chargeable under that income from other sources shall be computed after making the following deduction. So any income chargeable under the head income from other sources shall be taxable in this particular heads of after making the following deduction. In case of dividend or income in respect of unit of mutual fund or income in respect of unit of a specified company. So you have received any dividend. In case you are receiving any dividend, okay, or income in respect of units of mutual fund. So आपको mutual fund से कोई dividend मिल रहा है भूमि, okay. You have invested in any mutual fund and you are earning certain dividend or income in respect of units of a specified company. Interest expenditure to earn such income is allowed as deduction subject to a maximum of 20% of such income included in the total income without a deduction under this section. I am repeating again. Interest expenditure to earn such income is allowed as deduction subject to a maximum of 20% of such income included in the total income without deduction under this section, ठीक है। So any interest you are earning, any interest expenditure to earn such income is allowed as a maximum 20% deduction. So Bhumi, if you earn certain dividend or any income from mutual fund or unit of a specified company, then whatever the earning you earn, okay, for earning those income, if you spend some money for earning those income, mark my point please, if you expend some money for earning those income, then a expenditure of 20% maximum will be allowed as a deduction. तो आप अगर मान के चलिए, if you earning 20,000 and you expended 2,000 for earning those 20,000, then 2,000 into 20%, that is 400, will be deducted from the earning of 20,000. So your taxable income will be 19,600. Got it? So this is what the provision number 1 says under section 57. 57(2) क्या बोल रहे देखिए, in case of interest on securities, any reasonable sum paid by way of commission or remuneration to a banker or any other person for the purpose of realizing such interest on behalf of the assessee will be exempted. It's very exempted, not deductible. So it's very easy. So this particular section 57 deals with any expenditure you made for earning the income, any expenditure you made for earning such income. So it will be beneficial for you if you earn such income on securities and you paid some expenditure for which you are going to get the exemption, okay. So deduction, sorry, I am repeating again the wrong thing, exemption not, it's a pure deduction, okay. Income consists of recovery from employees as contribution to any provident fund etc in terms of section 224(10). क्या लिखा है यहाँ पे, income consists of recovery from employees as contribution to any provident fund etc in terms of section 224(10). A deduction will be allowed in accordance with the provision of section 36(1)(5)(a), that is to the extent of contributions remitted before the due date under these respective acts. So any deduction with respect to recovery from employees as contribution to any provident fund, so any deduction will be allowed in accordance with the provision of this particular section to the extent contribution is remitted before the due date under this respective act. So Bhumi, if you transfer any amount to the government, if you transfer any amount with respect to the provident fund of as an employee's contribution, then this amount will be deductible under section 36(1)(5). We have already discussed this under chapter PGPP, that is any amount which is received as an employee contribution for the PF purpose, and you have transferred this amount, okay, and you have transferred this amount to the respective provident fund account, then it will be exempted, it will be deductible in your hand. It's very easy. Achha, whether the income to be charged under this head is from letting on hire or machinery, plant, furniture with or without building. So Bhumi, आपको याद रखना है कि any items, the following items of deduction are allowable in the computation of income. क्या लिखा है देखिए, the amount paid on account of any current repair. So if you paid any amount with respect to the repair which is not deductible under PGEP, I'm repeating again, any amount you paid for the repair of the machinery, plant, furniture, building which is not deductible under section 30 of the Income Tax Act with respect to the PGEP, then it will be allowed under this particular heads of income, okay, under the other sources. So आपको याद है ना repair exempted था. So if repair is not exempt, if repair is not like deductible in the PGB, then it can be deductible under this particular heads of income. If the amount of any premium paid in respect of insurance against the risk of damage or destruction of the machinery or plant, furniture, building. So any insurance premium paid, any premium paid with respect to the insurance taken for the destruction of the machinery. It means for safeguard of the machinery, plant or building, you taken any insurance for which you are paying the insurance premium, it will be exempted. Clear, sir? Last, the normal depreciation allowances in respect of any machinery, plant or furniture due thereon. The normal depreciation allowances in respect of the machinery, plant or furniture due thereon. Okay, so that is what the basic fundamental. It's very easy. Now we are going to discuss about the income with respect to the income in nature of the family business. So भूमि, let's discuss. अच्छा, उसके पहले ना भूमि आप एक बार इसको पढ़ लीजिए प्लीज. कंफर्टेबल विद दिस 1 2 एंड 3. आप एक बार 1 2 3 गो ऑन कर लीजिए. 1 2 3 4. देन आई एम गोइंग टू मूव टू द फैमिली पेंशन. ओके, फैमिली पेंशन अभी हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे इन डिटेल्स में. ओके, वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस द फैमिली पेंशन इन डिटेल्स. ठीक है, वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस द फैमिली पेंशन इन डिटेल्स राइट नाउ. उसके बाद आप लोग इसको पढ़ लीजिए एक बार. गो ऑन करे भूमि, आगे बढ़े। चलिए अभी जो सेक्शन सीखने वाले हैं हम लोग, द सेक्शन दैट वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न, इट्स वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग सेक्शन, ओके, इट्स वेरी इजी सेक्शन ऑल्सो इटसेल्फ, ओके। क्या है देखिए सेक्शन क्या लिखा है। द सेक्शन सेज फैमिली पेंशन। So family pension means suppose we as a family we stay somewhere in place and we are earning certain family pension, okay, from anyone, let's say from government or any from your employers, okay. So any family pension received will available for a standard deduction with respect to one third of the family pension received for maximum 15,000 whichever is lower. So the provision says if you receive any family pension, there is a deduction available under section 57 that is either one third of the family pension you receive or 15,000 whichever is lower, okay. So this is the provision, and from assessment year 24-25 it is available under both the tax regime. Earlier it is not available under both the tax regime, only it is available under the old tax regime, but from our current assessment year it is available under both the tax regime, okay. Means 115 BSE and 115 BSE 1A under both the tax regime, that is very important, clear है. So this is what the family pension का provision, this is what the family pension का provision, clear एकदम, okay. Now
Yes, sir.
family pension means a regular monthly pension paid by the employer to a person belonging to the family of an employee in the event of his death. So it is very easy that family pension is not going to given to you very easily. In case of the death of the person, only the family pension will be allowed to the families of the deceased or death employees, okay, to the family of the death employees. So now let's discuss little bit with respect to this part. चलिए एक बार भूमि इसको थोड़ा गो ऑन करते हैं, ठीक है। देखिए अच्छा इसके बाद इसको लिखेंगे भी, पहले गो ऑन करते हैं उसके बाद इसको लिखेंगे क्लियर कर, ठीक है। देखिए मैं शेयर कर रहा हूँ स्क्रीन, ये आपने लिख लिया ना भूमि, लिख लीजिए ये चीज, प्लीज राइट डाउन दिस, इसको कॉपी कर लीजिए एक बार, फैमिली पेंशन, ओके वेरी गुड शाबाश। चलो एक बार गो थ्रू करते हैं इसको, क्या लिखा है देखिए प्रोविजन में, exemption in respect of family pension. See, I told you that it is received by the deceased employees, okay, in the event of the death. So mainly the family pension received by the armed forces, okay, the military or the paramilitary, okay, forces, the children or the widow of the armed forces, okay, it is exempted under section 1090 very clearly. So the family pension received by the widow or children or nominated heirs of a member of the armed forces including paramilitary forces of the union where the death of such member has occurred in the course of operational duties in specified circumstances would however be exempt under section 1090. Very clear, sir. The family pension received by any member of the family of an individual who had been in the service of central or state government and had been awarded Paramvir Chakra, Mahavir Chakra and Veer Chakra or other notified gallantry award would be exempt under section 1018(2). Okay, so you need to understand that Bhumi, gallantry award means something called very honored, proud feeling award, okay, like whenever you receive Arjun award, it's a proud feeling award. But see, Arjun award will be received by the only by the existing like person, not the deceased person. So in our case, it is received by the deceased person only, okay. We are discussing family pension in case of the death of any employee of the any armed forces member. So it is very important, sir. If the member of the armed forces of union in case of death, it is due to the operational duties, okay, and amount received by the legal heirs fully exempted, and in case of the normal course it is fully taxable. In case of the normal course it is fully taxable. So and also family pension received by the member, okay, who has been awarded by the CGSG Paramvir Chakra, Mahavir Chakra और वीर चक्र, आपको सुनने में समझ में आ रहा है भूमि कि वीर चक्र is not going to given to someone else normal, it will be given for those our big brothers or the big sisters who are given their life for safety of our nation, correct. So that's why Veer Chakra is given, and other gallantry award would be exempt under section 1018(2). So चलिए एक बार इसको लिख लेते हैं, ठीक है, क्लियरली भूमि। देखिए मैं आपको लिख के थोड़ा दिखाता हूं, आपको इजी हो जाएगा। देखिए मैं लिख रहा हूं, ठीक है। नाउ if you can write here, member of armed forces of union. In this case, if the death occurs, then death occurs due to operational duties. You heard about the disaster in the Pulwama attack, okay, where our soldiers have given their life for safety of the nation, correct? So with respect to the operational duties, any amount received, any amount received, okay, any amount received by legal heirs, any amount received by legal heirs is fully exempted, is fully exempted. It's clear, sir. So in case of death due to the operational duties, it means when he or she was in the duty, at that point of time the death occurs and the amount received by the legal heir is fully exempted, okay. In this case, operation is very important. You can mark here operation, okay, and it is fully exempted and is received by legal heirs. So three important: operational death, legal heirs exempted fully. Now in case family pension received in the normal course, it means not due to the death, okay, in the normal course, okay, not due to death, then it will be taxable, taxable as per above provision. So it is taxable under the above provision. It means what, see here, this is as per section 57 this, but in case of the death it is fully exempt. ये पूरा tax मतलब if you see here exemption available only 1/3 or 15th, whichever is lower. But in case of this operation it is fully exempt. Whatever the money, if you receive 5 lakh rupees of money, fully exempted, no deduction is there, okay. But in case of the normal course, you are going to get any deduction. That is what the provision. Please note down this, Bhumi, please. ग्रेट भूमि, चलो अब आगे बढ़ते हो ना हम. Any other expenditure not being in nature of the capital expenditure laid out or expended wholly and exclusively for the purpose of making earning such income. So Bhumi, if you doing any expenditure, okay, not been, it is an capital expenditure, because capital expenditure are not allowed under the head other sources. But if you do any expenditure which is not a capital expenditure and for the purpose of earning certain income, suppose to earn, if you say me to earn salary, you do certain expenses of traveling, okay, sorry, for earning bank interest, you do some expenditure to earning such bank interest, okay, the bank expenses, sorry. Suppose you have paid bank charges of 50 rupees to earning an interest of 200 rupees, then your taxable income will be 150, not 200, because 50 rupees is an expenditure you made for earning such interest, so it will be allowed. In case of income by of interest on compensation, enhanced compensation received chargeable to tax under section 56 to 8, then 50% of this income will be deductible. Please remember this. Under section 56 to 7 may, if you earning any interest on compensation or enhanced compensation, then deduction flat 50% is allowed. No deduction is allowed under section 57. ठीक है, क्योंकि 56 to 8 में deduction is available at the rate 50% in flat. Deduction of 50% is allowed under section 56 to 8. So no deduction would be allowable under the section 57. ठीक है, ये कंप्लीट. नाउ प्लीज गो थ्रू द क्वेश्चन. भूमि, क्वेश्चन गो थ्रू कीजिए, इसका सॉल्यूशन हम लोग बताएंगे, अभी करेंगे, ठीक है. क्वेश्चन गो थ्रू कीजिए. चलिए भूमि मैं आपको बताता हूँ, ठीक है भूमि, व्हाट वी डिस्कस in yesterday's class as well as the last capital gain class, that when interest is received on the compensation, then the year of then it will be taxable in the year of receipt. So either it is belong to any previous year, it doesn't make any differences if we receive all the amount in itself in the current previous year. In the current previous year, it means the amount of 5 lakh rupees is taxable in the year of 2023-24. Okay, so it means 5 lakh is the amount of income that we earn, but there is a flat deduction and flat deduction available under section 56(2)(8), that is 50%. ये देखिए आपका लिखा है ना यहाँ पे भूमि, it is clearly written here, 50% direct available. So it means Bhumi, out of the 5 lakh income we can easily deduct 2,50,000. Got it Bhumi? Clear है? We can easily deduct 50%, 2,50,000. It is available under section, देखिए क्या लिखा है 57(4) में. So it is available under 57(4). So please note it down this Bhumi, हाँ, please note it down this, it's very important. 57(4) में डायरेक्ट 50% अलाउ है, ओके, बट नो अदर डिडक्शन इज अलाउड, ओनली 50%. नो कोई भी एक्सपेंडिचर कुछ नहीं, फ्लैट 50% इज अलाउड, ठीक है. ये था प्रोविजन. चलिए भूमि, अब चलते हैं हम लोग सेक्शन 58 में. बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है सेक्शन 58 भी. क्या है सेक्शन 58? सेक्शन 58 सी, सेक्शन 57 में हम लोग क्या पढ़े थे भूमि? डिडक्शन अलाउएबल. सेक्शन 58 में क्या पढ़ेंगे? डिडक्शंस नॉट अलाउएबल. देयर वी हैव लर्न डिडक्शन अवेलेबल एंड हियर वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न डिडक्शन नॉट अलाउएबल. सिंपल सा बात आपको मैं बता देता हूं, एनी पर्सनल एक्सपेंसेस ऑफ द एसएससी इज नॉट अलाउड. एनी इंटरेस्ट और सैलरी पेड आउटसाइड इंडिया ऑन विच टैक्स इज नॉट डिडक्टेड, नॉट अलाउड. Income tax, wealth tax, not allowed. Expenditure on winning from lotteries, crossword puzzle, not allowed. Any expenditure referred in section 48, not allowed. So these are not allowed at all. Okay, चलिए एक बार गो थ्रू करते हैं और इसको समझ लेते हैं. इसके बाद एग्जांपल देखेंगे, ठीक है. देखिए मम्मी क्या लिखा है. No deduction shall be made in computing the income from other sources of an assessee in respect of the following items of expenses. In the case of any expenses, any personal expenses not allowed. Any interest chargeable to tax under this act which is payable outside India on which TDS not deducted. So guys, I told you now, if any person expense is there or any interest and salary paid outside but TDS not deducted, no, are not allowed. Okay, any expenditure in respect of which a payment is made to a related person, okay, made to a related person. So in addition to these allowances, section 58(2) specifically provides that the disallowances of any expenditure in respect of which a payment is made to a related person to the extent the same is considered excessive or unreasonable. So भूमि आपको याद है सेक्शन 48(2), आपको याद आ रहा है सेक्शन 48(2) में क्या डिस्कस किया था हम लोग भूमि, कि एनी पेमेंट मेड टू रिलेटिव विच इज इन एक्सेस इन नेचर विल बी डिसअलाउड. याद आ रहा है भूमि 48(2) में प्रोविजंस में? एनी एक्स्ट्रा पेमेंट मेड टू रिलेटिव अंडर द PGP चैप्टर इज डिसअलाउड. You for yeah. So when you made any payment under section 48(2), any relative which is in excess in nature, it will be disallowed purely. It will be disallowed purely. So it is written, in addition to these allowances, section 58(2) specifically provides that the disallowances of any expenditure in respect of which a payment is made to a related person to the extent the same is considered excessive or unreasonable by the assessing officer, having regard to the FMB and disallowance of payment or aggregate of payments exceeding 10,000 or 35,000, as the case may be, made to a person during a day otherwise than by account paycheck or draft or ECS through bank account or through such other prescribed electronic modes such as credit card, debit card, net banking, IMPS, UPI, RTGS, NEFT and Bhim other pay covered by section 48 will be applicable to the computation of income under the head other sources. Very easy sir. ठीक है भूमि, क्लियर है. So any amount which is made to a related person which is in excess in nature will be disallowed under section 58(2) में, कोई दिक्कत नहीं सर. अच्छा, disallowance of 30% expenditure, certain expenditure there on which disallowance up to 30% is there. 30% of the expenditure shall not be allowed in respect of some which is payable to a resident and on his TDS not deducted. So भूमि आपको याद रखना है, there are certain expenditure on which you have paid certain money to a resident, but you have not deducted the tax. Suppose Bhumi, you pay me certain money for which you have not deducted the TDS. आपको TDS डिडक्ट करने चाहिए था. Suppose you pay me rent. Suppose you pay me rent. Okay, हर महीने rent आप pay कर रहे हो 20,000 करके. But you have forgotten to deduct the rent, sorry, TDS at the rate 10%. So you forgot to deduct the TDS at the rate 10%. So in this case, if you forgot to if you forgot to deduct the TDS at the rate 10%, then that expenditure in the way of rent paid to me will be disallowed up to 30%. So rent आपने कितना पे किया भूमि 20,000. So what will be the amount of disallowance भूमि? If you pay a rent of 20,000 to me on which you not deducted TDS, then what will be the disallowance, sir? 30% means 6,000 rupees. Clear? Means, sir, 6,000 rupees. That is the 30% of the payment made to resident. And please mark it. It is only available. It is only respect to the resident only. It is only respect to the resident only. Okay? None other than the fact. चलिए क्लियर हो गया भूमि. ओके अच्छा अब क्या लिखा है देखिए यहाँ पे लिखा है if such tax has not been deducted or such tax deduction has not been paid or before the due date of return specified in section 139(1). It means when the deduction has been made but you have not deposited before the due date of return under section 139(1). So that is why the disallowance of 30% will be there. Okay. Now in case of assessee fails to deduct the whole or any part of the tax on any such sum but is not deemed as assessee in default under the first proviso section 2011 by reason of such pay. In case assessee fails, okay, to deduct the whole or any part of tax on any such sum but is not deemed as assessee in default under the first proviso. It means ये assessee का कोई default नहीं है भूमि. हाँ, you have not deducted the TDS, we understand, but it is not deducted because of your default. It is not default of you because of certain reason. So the assessee is in not default under the first proviso to section 2011 by reason that such payee has furnished his return of income under section 139(1). Okay, 139 has taken into account such sum of computing income in such return of income and has paid the tax on due income. So Bhumi, if you not deducted the TDS but it is not your default and as defined in the first proviso to section 2011 by person that such payee has furnished the return of income under the due time, has taken into account such sum for computing income in such return of income and has paid the tax on due date, then such deduction will be not being there of 30%. अगर भूमि आप टाइम पे सब चीज कर देते हो means you have submitted the return and you have shown the income in your books of accounts and you have paid the tax to the income tax department on time, then the 30% disallowances will not be there. ठीक है? Then the 30% disallowance will not be there. That is what the provision says. Clear? The date of deduction of payment, ये देखिए क्या लिखा है, the date of deduction of okay, the date of deduction and payment of taxes by the payer shall be deemed to be the date on which the return of income, okay, the return of income has been furnished by the payee. What is the sentence says? The date of deduction and payment of taxes by the payer shall be deemed to be the date on which return of income has been furnished by the payee. Okay, return of income has been furnished by the payee. That is what the basic provision says. Clear है? चलो अब आगे बढ़ते भूमि. हाँ, no deduction in respect of any expenditure incurred in connection with casual income. So आपको ये लाइन पढ़ना नहीं है भूमि. हाँ, आपको मैं देखिए लिख के देता हूँ. ठीक है, क्या क्या इनकम करना है या क्या क्या इनकम नहीं करना है, मैं आपको वो लिख के देता हूँ. ठीक है, चलिए आप लिख लीजिए, नोट लिख लीजिए भूमि. हाँ, प्लीज मेक अ नोट ऑफ दैट भूमि, प्लीज. चलिए एक बार नोट लिख लीजिए मेरे साथ. ठीक है भूमि, आपको दिख रही है क्लियरली ये चीज एकदम? लिखे अमाउंट not deductible. I am giving you a snapshot, okay, so that it will be very easy to remember. मैंने अभी कितना पेज पढ़ा, 1 पेज पढ़ा ना, आपको उतना मतलब दिमाग में रखने का कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. यू नीड नॉट टू रिमेंबर ऑल ऑफ दिस, rather you can go through my 5 points, it will be more than enough. Okay, under section 58, so amount not deductible under section 58 क्या क्या होगा देखिए, लिखिए personal expenses, personal expenses of the assessee, make it in box. Okay, so amount not deducted under 58 means personal expenses of the assessee. So any personal expense of the assessee is not deductible under section 58. Okay, that is the first point. Second point, interest paid or salary paid outside India, okay, on which TDS not deducted. ठीक है, done sir. Interest paid or salary paid outside India on which TDS not deducted, on which TDS not deducted, it's or, huh? Now the third is that any expenditure any expenditure okay, in respect expenditure in respect of which payment made to a related person, to the extent it is considered excessive by AO. So this is what the third provision says. Perfect है sir. This is the first provision, second provision, third provision. Clear? Personal expense, interest paid or salary paid outside India, any expenditure in respect to which payment made to a related person to the extent is considered excessively by AO. And the last one, okay, and the last one, any expenditure on casual income. Okay, you can write here, any expenditure on casual income. Any expenditure on casual income. Like winning from lotteries, perfect. So this is the fourth thing. Okay, clear? So this is the total 4 categories. Write down please. Personal expense of the assessee, interest paid or salary paid outside India on which TDS not deducted, any expenditure in respect of which payment made to a related person to the extent it is considered excessive by AO, any expenditure on casual income like winning from lotteries, etc. So that's all. So this is what the total This is what the total provision respect to section 58. ओके क्लियर है भूमि? ये टोटल प्रोविजन है. अब सेक्शन 59 में हम लोग चलते गो थ्रू करते. ठीक है, चलिए सेक्शन 59 छोटा सा है, एक बार गो थ्रू कर लेते. सेक्शन 59 है क्या, देखिए. What is this section 59? Section 59 says the provision of section 41(1) are made applicable so far as may be to the computation of income under this head. Accordingly, where a deduction has been made in respect of a loss, expenditure, okay, made in expenditure of loss or liability, and subsequently any amount is received or benefit is derived in respect of such expenditure incurred or loss or trading liability allowed as deduction, then it shall be deemed as income in the year in which the amount is received or the benefit is accrued. I am repeating again. The provision of section 41(1), आपको 41(1) याद आ रहा है भूमि? 41(1) is covered under the PGBP section. Okay, 41 is covered under the PGBP section. Deemed income याद आ रहा है ना, deemed income. So 41(1) says about the deemed income. Okay, so in case any deemed income are made applicable so far as may be, okay, to the computation of income under this head. Accordingly, where a deduction has been made in respect of loss, expenditure, liability, and subsequently any amount is received or benefits derived in respect to the expenditure, incurred, loss, or trading liability allowed as deduction, then it shall be deemed as income in the year in which the amount is received or benefit is accrued. So it means any money received, okay, which is like you can say it's a deemed income. Okay, any expenditure you made for earning such deemed income will be available under this. But देखिए भूमि, if any expenditure you made to earn such deemed income will be allowed here, but provided if the money or the expenditure, whatever the loss you made, it is recovered after certain point of time, then it will be taxable under the head this particular income. If you had any income, let's say suppose आपको मैं बताता हूँ, suppose you have certain deemed income in terms of the deemed dividend, okay, and you made certain expenditure to earning such deemed dividend, and this is being allowed under the head other sources. Okay, that's expenditure. But later what happened, when you earning such when you spend such expenditure, later it is recovered, then the recovered amount on such expenditure will be taxable under the head other sources. आप सोचो भूमि, if you earn the deemed dividend of 5,000 rupees, okay, which will be taxable under the head PGP, or else you can say under the head other sources. Perfect. Now if you see, if it is taxable under the head other sources and any expenditure or loss you made to earning such income, and later the loss or expenditure has been recovered in certain way, then you got deduction earlier for such expenditure, but now it is recovered, so it will be taxable in the year, when it is received or benefit is accrued. Done? Clear है sir? कोई doubt है भूमि इसमें? Yeah, great. So this is what the chapter 56 to income from other sources chapter and section 56 to 59 we have completed. This is what we have completed, and only the remaining part is that we need to understand, okay, with respect to the sums, little bit sums and little part. So that we are going to complete by tomorrow itself, and then this chapter is fully completed. और कुछ बाकी नहीं रहेगा. Next day tomorrow itself we are going through the next chapter. ठीक है?